prepared a small speech, if that makes sense. So standing against anti-Semitism, extremism, and the IRGC's influence. So ladies and gentlemen, defenders of freedom and justice, we stand here today, not just in solidarity with Israel and the Jewish people, but in firm opposition to the growing threat of anti-Semitism, extremism, and the radical ideology pushed by the Iranian regime and its terror proxies. The so-called Al-Quds Day protest is not a march for peace. It is a rally for hate orchestrated by those who wish to see Israel wiped off the map and the West weakened from within.
Disgusting.
Let us be clear, the IRGC is a terrorist organisation. It is the military arm of a brutal regime that funds Hamas, Hezbollah and other groups committed to Israel's destruction. It has brought chaos to the Middle East and is spreading its radical ideology into our streets, our communities and even our schools and universities. Across the UK, Jewish students face harassment simply for their identity. Universities meant to be places of learning have become breeding grounds for extremism, where radical student groups glorify terrorists and intimidate those who speak out. Schools are witnessing the same toxic influence, where false narratives are pushed onto our children and anti-Semitic bullying goes ignored. The radicalisation of our youth is happening before our eyes, and our leaders must act to stop it now. One common misconception is the claim that only a handful of Jews resided in the Middle East before Israel's creation, ignoring the centuries-long presence of Jewish communities in the region. Jewish history in the Middle East predates Islam itself. Furthermore, Israel initially adopted UN-defined borders, but following the attempts of neighbouring Arab states to annihilate the newly established nation, it was forced into defensive wars. The territories it gained as a result of these conflicts remain legally disputed, yet some insist on labelling them illegally occupied, without acknowledging the historical and security complexities that led to their current status. Israel has over time returned some of these lands as part of the peace negotiations, such as withdrawing from Sinai under the Egypt-Israel peace treaty and disengaging from Gaza in 2005. Further territorial concessions remain a topic of debate, with various proposals being considered. One of the most notable in recent years came from former US, well I say former, he is coming again, President Donald Trump, who during his administration introduced the Peace to Prosperity Plan, a framework for a two-state solution that recognised Israeli sovereignty over certain settlements while offering Palestinians a pathway to statehood with substantial economic incentives. Trump's plan even considered international oversight of some disputed areas, including potential US administration or joint governance as an interim measure to ensure stability. While this proposal was rejected by Palestinian leadership, a common theme, it demonstrated that alternative approaches to peace are possible. Future US administrations may revisit elements of this strategy, particularly in light of renewed regional instability and shifting geopolitical alliances. Moving forward, it is crucial that any peace proposals acknowledge Israel's security needs, while ensuring a just and lasting resolution to the conflict. Yet instead of genuine discussion and diplomacy, we see radical groups like Hamas and Hezbollah choosing terrorism over peace. We see the IRGC spreading its dangerous ideology here in the West, on our streets, in our universities, and among vulnerable youth susceptible to extremist recruitment. We see it in the chants of "From the River to the Sea," a call for genocide, not justice. We see it in the burning of Israeli flags, the glorification of terror groups, and the silencing of Jewish voices. This isn't about Palestine, this is about extremism, and we must name it for what it is. Hamas's massacre on October 7th was the largest slaughter of Jews since the Holocaust. 59 hostages remain in Hamas captivity, with only 24 assumed to be alive. They are not prisoners of war. They are innocent civilians being used as bargaining tools by Hamas, who seek to extract unacceptable terms in the current Witkoff ceasefire process. This is not negotiation, it is blackmail. The only path to real peace is the complete dismantling of Hamas. So long as Hamas remains in power, Israel will never be safe, and Palestinian civilians will continue to suffer under their brutal rule. The hostages must be released and Hamas must be eliminated. Only then can a new peace begin. Enough is enough. We cannot allow our streets, our schools and our universities to be used as platforms for radicalization. We cannot allow British cities to become playgrounds for Iranian-backed extremism. We demand that our government fully back the IRGC ban, the IRGC, and crack down on those spreading its ideology. We stand for truth, not propaganda. We stand for peace, not terror. We stand with Israel and all people fighting against radicalization and hate. The world has seen what happens when we remain silent in the face of anti-Semitism and extremism. We will not make that mistake again. No to Hamas. No to Hezbollah. No